Hi folks, I'm smoking my St George's Day pipe. You can see the cross of St George, and in it I've got some Boswell's Northwoods, and this is a VR to Ben the Bagged Piper 250 sub mod GAW. Now he wanted us to show you any body modifications, any modifications that we'd done of various kinds. Now, I was going to show you a modification I've had done recently, mainly my circumcision, but Carolyn said I couldn't. She said she didn't want people laughing too much. So I've decided to show you one of my tattoos. This is the first tattoo I had done. Hope you can see that. It's a green man, a leaf man they're sometimes called. His nose is a bit pale. There's a reason for that, which I'll tell you later on. I'd got into my 50s and decided that I was old enough now to have tattoos. So I went to a local tattooist that we had in our area where we lived and said I'd like a tattoo. Now this guy was a biker, and when I went in he had his leathers on and his rockers on the back of the bike saying which chapter he belonged to, and I realised that this wasn't the normal kind of tattooist, but I wanted a tattoo. So we decided which one I was going to have, the leaf man, and how much he wanted for it. And Carolyn went out to do some shopping and said she'd come back later and see how I'd got on. The tattooist reached out to a bunch of needles they had in a glass jar, took one out, looked at it. Yeah, I think that'll be sharp enough. And began the tattoo. And it all went very well. Wasn't too painful. In fact, it was quite addictive. Most tattoos are. And when he'd finished, he sort of took a photograph of it so that he could show people some of his work, reached down to the floor, got a piece of cardboard off the floor, slapped it on the tattoo and wrapped it round with sellotape. And then gave me some advice on looking after the tattoo, which basically said, I wouldn't have a bath yet, and to not scratch it, and keep out of the sunlight. And if I wanted to, put some hemp oil on it, cannabis oil that he had in a jar, sort of a little paste. I never had anything wrong with that tattoo. When I told Tim what the man had done, by way of just grabbing a needle, he said, Dad, they're supposed to use new needles to stop disease. Picking up the cardboard from the floor, that didn't go down well either. But anyway, the tattoo was finished. And I said that I'd explain about the nose. Well, whenever I have an injection at the doctor's, and my yearly flu injection, that's where it goes. Right on his nose. The nurses love it. In fact, they thought I had it done as a target just for them. So, not only is he a modification, he's also an aid to medicine. I do have some other tattoos. I mean, I have the knight. He really needs touching up because I'd just had a heart attack before I had him done, and I was on blood thinners and hadn't realised that I shouldn't be having a tattoo. The other one is a wolf howling at the moon, but it's, I don't know, I'm not happy with that one. I'm wondering about having another one done, or I'm wondering about branding, which sounds quite interesting. You know, you bend wire to make a design, heat it up, and the other thing that I've got on the arm, but you can't see it at the moment because the weather's not right for it, I've got a lot of cut marks where during one of my breakdowns I did a lot of cutting, and there are other areas of my body where there's one or two. Excuse me a moment. But if you've ever wondered about getting a tattoo, I'd say yes. But make sure that you get a tattoo that you can live with. You know, don't get a girlfriend or a boyfriend's name unless you're fairly sure that you're not going to split up in the future. I'm quite happy with my tattoos. I can live with them. And that's it. And as I say, that's my body modification. So I hope that's okay. Ben, I love your site. You do some fantastic stuff. And some of the modifications that you've done to pipes and that kind of thing are really good. And I still have your tamper that you sent me. I do use it. I use it a lot. And you also asked that I gave a shout out. Well, there's 3 I want to give out, and they're all newbies. There's the Meandering Piper, and then there's Sheldon Richman and Minnesota Piper 1. And I'll put those down in the bucket, along with a link to you and your site, so that in case anybody hasn't come across you, they know where to go and they can link to you. Thank you very much for all you do for the community, and long may you lumreek, and may you live to be 100, and the last voice you hear be mine. Now may you all be richly blessed. May the love of God flow down upon you, renew you, strengthen you, and keep you safe. And to whatever God you believe in, may your God always go with you and never let go of your hand. And for those who have no God, who don't believe in God, I'm still going to ask that you be richly blessed, but I'm going to say that you're in my thoughts as well, and sending out positive thoughts for you. Now, I'll say good night.